As you rightly point, the key is for you to start building the profile which will give confidence to the company that you are actually liking that area and you're looking forward to that area. Now, I have another comparative question which I would like to discuss with you. A typical question asked in quite a few companies like TCS, Tech Mahindras and Capgemini's. You are made an offer by TCS, that is my company, and there's a Google visiting your campus at a later point of time, what we call as a dream company in your college concept. So there's an offer made by Google as well. Which one would you prefer, a TCS or a Google? The reason why I'm asking this question is because I remember a student in Hyderabad was asking me one day, sir, should I be honest in an interview or should I be bluffing in an interview? Possibly with this, you would also come out with an answer for that as well.
Now, you are taking me to a gray area. Now, it's a dangerous area. Should a person bluff? Frankly, I would have. The point that we need to understand is there's a big difference between lying and bluffing. I mean, probably I'm playing with words here, but the fact is, I ask this question whenever I go. You look at students today, when they come to the college every day, they're not formally dressed, but on the day of the interview, they are. Is that lying? Is that bluffing? No. Situation demands that, and therefore they are formally dressed. The same thing is true when they go for the interview. When you go for the interview, remember, you're going to sell yourself. So, nothing wrong in flaunting certain things, making something grander, but appreciate the fact that if you're not well prepared, you're getting caught as well. Ladies and gentlemen, people who are taking the interview are not idiots. They understand it. In fact, this question is one of the classic questions that is asked in the interview to understand whether you are bluffing or not. Generally what happens is, I remember I was in Gayatri Vidya Parishad and this interview, I was basically sitting when the TCS was interviewing students of Gayatri Vidya Parishad. That's one of the leading colleges in Visakhapatnam, and TCS is one of the biggest recruiter there. And this question was asked to a student. The student went on saying TCS, 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 alright. So, the person started with the question, what if Infosys were to ask? He said TCS. Then he said, alright, what if Google were to ask? He continued to stick to TCS.
So, they were asking if Google was also making an offer,
yes,
Infosys also was making an offer,
yes.
VV making an offer.
So, first it started with what if along with TCS, Infosys gives an offer. Second, what with TCS, Google gives an offer.
Okay.
Now, for me, that is stupid because Google and TCS are in different two leagues altogether, and the student should have been aware of that. Now, you cannot compare the two, and with due respect to what TCS is, and it's a fantastic company to be, both in terms of the nature of job that they get and more in terms of the money that you get. Now, this question is classically asked in the interview to know whether you are telling the truth or not. Now, so if TCS were to ask me between TCS and Google, which will you select, I will frankly be telling it openly that I will be lying if I say TCS. So, what happens? Is it a comparative question? No doubt about it, it's a comparative question because I am comparing TCS and Google. But here, for me to tell TCS would be wrong. So, what am I going to do? I am going to dump TCS. So, how am I going to dump TCS? The same principle of comparative. I am going to praise, I am going to dump. So, I am going to praise TCS and dump TCS. Look at the way I do it. This is what I would have done. Frankly, it's a tough question for me to answer because I am sitting in front of you. I have always wanted TCS. In fact, the last 1 month, if I have been preparing very hard, it has been that because I always see my future with TCS. But if the question is between TCS and Google, which are the two I will choose, and if I say TCS, I will be lying and I won't do that. I would have given that answer. Now, if you look at my answer very carefully, did I praise TCS? Yes. I also backed it up by saying that I have done the homework for that. So, I am dumping TCS, but I have taken mine not to praise Google too much. So, sometimes when HR interviews ask questions of this nature, it's important to realize the fact that the HR is looking at the truth of your answer. You need to be smart enough.
Now, if the HR probes further, asking why Google, why not TCS? So, what should the answer be? What could be the right answer then?
I believe a person who does not understand the difference between Google and TCS anyway would not have answered that. A person who does will realize the fact that Google is very innovative. Google gives a lot of freedom for you to experiment. So, there are hundreds of reasons why Google is better than TCS, and let's be very clear. We are looking for smart people. Our business is not to train people who are dumb, who wish to continue being dumb. Our business is to train those people who are smart enough to learn how to become smart, even if they are not smart today. The point of the matter is, homework has to be done. If you are going to a TCS interview and you happen to be a non-IT engineer, there is absolutely no excuse that you can give if you do not know about TCS or its important competitors or important players in that area. So, should you know about Google? You bet your life on it. Should you know about Amazon? You bet your life on it. If you do not know, and I am the interviewer, you are going to be a big disappointment to me because it shows the fact that you are not ambitious enough. So, yes, students at that age need to do the homework. That goes without saying.
The other trickier question generally I see companies asking during an interview, once again shared by some students on a doubt clarification platform, is if TCS comes and asks us, I'm making you an offer, but tomorrow there's one more company which comes and makes you an offer at a better salary, better salary than TCS.
Right.
It could be any XYZ company. What would you prefer, TCS or that company?
For me, this becomes an easier answer. In fact, the easier thing, because they have not named the company. So now the point is very simple. I'm sitting in front of the TCS, so, and I'm in the selling mode. Let's not forget that interview is about selling. So I obviously am going to talk about TCS. Now here I cannot praise the other company because he has not named the company. So my position would have been simple. I would have said at the start of the career, money is not the most important thing. Please appreciate, I did not say money is not important at all. I'm saying not the most important thing. So the point I'm highlighting is very simple. I would have praised TCS. I would have talked about amazing learning that I can have, the amazing growth I can have, and then I would have said money is not the most important thing. So if I do get an offer from TCS and another company, the other company paying more money, I'm still not leaving TCS. But that's where the catch happens. The interviewer is not going to keep quiet. The interviewer is going to go forward and say, look, the other company also provides a similar learning, similar challenges, similar future, then what? Now, I have to be sensible enough to understand what he's trying to do. What is the interviewer trying to do? He's trying to understand whether I'm truthful or not. So for me, this question is like TCS versus Google. Because if there's a company which is giving me exactly all the things that TCS gives, in addition it gives me more money, am I an idiot to say no to the other? So I'm not going to be that. So if that question had to be asked, I would have praised TCS, but I would have said that if everything is same and they are giving more money and I have not accepted the TCS offer so far. Now that's a key word. In a way, I'm telling the company, once I accept the offer, I will not go step back. But if I have not accepted the offer so far, there's no reason why I should say no to that. So,
brilliant. Now, for a mechanical engineer, the same question changes to TCS versus L&T.
Right.
Now, he is a mechanical engineer.
Right.
He has expressed interest towards IT, seated in a TCS interview, and there is an L&T schedule for for the interview as well. Now, how should he be handling this question? This kind of a tricky question.